Well, here we are today on a beautiful, sunny, unexpectedly sunny. It was actually supposed to be rainy and awful today, but on a beautiful, sunny morning out at the farm. And this morning, we're going to try to correct something that happened the last time I had this mower out. And mowing along nicely, and all of a sudden, I hear the sound of some piece of metal going through the mower. Didn't know what it was until I came back to the barn, tried to pull in, and when I do, there's a decent step up, kind of a lip to the edge of the barn. And when I went over that, the mower just banked like crazy, which I didn't understand because, of course, it's hooked up on both sides of the 3-point. But the reason for that was very simple. This pin at the bottom of that link arm fell out in the field, and that's what went through the mower. I looked around a little bit, but honestly, trying to find a pin like that in the field is needle in a haystack stuff, so I'm not going to spend a tremendous amount of time on it. But went and picked up some new parts. You would not believe how expensive some of these parts are. I'll talk about that when I paint them. But we're going to get this out. We're going to get the new parts painted up and put in. But first, we're going to get this out, set the mower down, and test fit the new parts. I always want to test fit parts before I start actually painting them. It just makes me feel better that they're actually going to go where they're supposed to. So let's get going. So just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with here, this is what it should look like. Nice pin on the outside. You got the actual piece of metal pin going through the middle, and there's it's attached to like a rectangular block on that end, and then there's a rectangular block that goes over this end that the pin holds on. So that's what it should look like. This is what this side looks like right now. This is a Cat 1 top link, Category 1 Hitch top link pin that I found that I used temporarily just to get the mower into the barn. And yeah, it fits, but you know, not great because it won't do things like keep it from sliding up or anything like that. So definitely not the right thing for that spot. But we have new parts. We'll hopefully get it replaced today, get it done. But one of the things I don't like about the new parts right now are completely unpainted. They actually came unpainted, so I want to actually paint them black. It's probably my OCD that wants them to match, but I figure, yeah, less rust and stuff over time if I paint them, so we'll get them painted up. All right, let's take old, well, not old, but my temporary pin. Get that out. This guy dropped down. And let's see what we got here. It fits nicely there. All right, new pin. Let's just test fit. Confident that it'll go through there just fine. But, let's see. I stick it through there. That's actually the wrong way. We want it going this way. Stick it through there. Here's our plate. Just lining it up with what the other side has. And we have a problem. Pin really doesn't go in there. Kind of tough. So we're gonna get some clamps. We're gonna get some clamps, see if we can't clamp that together and if the pin will go in then. I think that this may have gotten spread just a little bit when it was opened up while it was out there. So we'll see if we can't clamp it just a little bit because it doesn't need much. Let's see here. Like that. I need to open that clamp up. Just dropping stuff everywhere. another one on the bottom side. I'm a big fan of the concept of double clamping. Why use one when you can use two? We're already there. I can already get the pin out, so we'll just make sure. So, yeah, there. So that's it. That'll get the pin in. So that's good enough. We can go ahead and paint it. Let's go ahead. We'll get it painted. And we'll be ready to use it. For our first coat, we'll just give them a nice easy, even coat. Try to get as many sides as I can on this first coat. And that's gonna have to dry. So now we go do something else for a while. All right, time for coat number 2. Let's get this nice and easy. Okay, that's it. We'll let it dry, and we'll put the hitch back together. All right, so we have our parts all painted, we got our clamps ready, and the last thing I'm gonna do before I put this back together is I'm gonna measure the 2 link arms to make sure that they're the same length so that we don't have one side higher than the other in case it got twisted around while it was out. So get that done. So this one I'm going to measure from top of the top pin to the bottom of the bottom pin, and that's 25 1/16. And so we'll do the same thing on this guy, from the top of the top pin to where the bottom of the bottom pin will sit, and that is 25 1/16. Good enough for me. All right, let's get it put together. We're going to bring this guy up. And we'll get the pin in. Goes in from the outside. So that's the pin in. Then there's plate, the inside plate goes here, and then we need our clamps. So we'll do 1 clamp on the inside, and we'll do 1 clamp on the outside, since we are clamping something pretty heavy here. Of course, it's tough to clamp, so. But there it is. We'll get our pin in. I won't be able to put it down because the clamps will prevent it right now, but at least I can get it in, and then we'll loosen our clamps, which the minute we loosen our clamps, that pin's going to be very tight in there. So there's the pin. These pins have a locking at the bottom to lock them in. And that's it. We're back in business. One could argue that the black on that looks newer than the black on the rest, so not perfect, but it's better than having it shiny. And it'll make things a A little bit of paint never hurt any metal for keeping it from rusting. So we already got a little bit of rust coming on the outer end of this. But, it's bound to happen sometime. So anyway, so that's it. We're back in business. Link arm's back working. Our 3-point back to normal. And life is good.